Hey rat bags, it's Jade. Welcome to a SMALLAND video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the latest devlog and going over every bug so far revealed or spoken about that's going to be in SMALLAND when it releases, hopefully at some point this year. Like a lot of other survival games, you are going to be able to get these as your pets, but also your tames, and be able to have them as mounts. Not all creatures have been confirmed as rideable, but definitely it's going to be a big selection. So I'm going to gather all the information we've got so far and talk about all the ones that we know via the dev blogs and sharing them on social media. So if you want to know more about SMALLAND, keep up to date with other games like Grounded and pretty much crafty survival games, make sure you're subscribed and let's go. So pretty regularly they do FAQ Fridays where I take a whole bunch of questions and we get some decent answers. SMALLAND is going to have boss fights, but they won't necessarily be in dungeons. You're not going to be going off into any locked off areas. Instead, there'll be parts of their map that you can only access by going through certain zones, like the dark swamp or across broken dead trees, or find a way to get through an overgrown maze. And I guess this is the point where we might see some actual boss fights. There's not going to be any caves in the game. There'll be abandoned vehicles, a hollowed log, so places that you'll be able to make your base within structures, but not necessarily something where you can actually go and dig your cave out yourself. So we've shown this off before that you can go and investigate some vehicles in the game. It looks like you're going to have to find ways to get up to them. Possibly they'll have some sort of resources, or it just might be somewhere safe to get away from certain bugs. But it does look like if you do find somewhere a little bit cozy, you can make it your home. Take a look at this. It's a giant massive boot, and this boot is somewhere where you can actually put a base down and actually have something inside it. Or whether or not this has actually been left there by the game, I'm not sure. I kind of get the feeling this is a creation made by a player. I really like this as well. It'd be great to have bases and stuff in some of this stuff just lying around. Someone's asking about the combat, what's it going to be like? And they're saying there's attacks and combos, as well as weapons that have different effects suited different creatures and situations. Some can be found, but some have got to be earned or crafted. So you can see the axe is pretty, I would say, heavy and slow, and the sword definitely gives you a little bit more artistic flair. Someone's asking about the price, but they haven't really discussed that just yet or thought of it. Someone's asked how you level up. Is it going to be like Valheim in terms of skills? Or is it just more crafting items like in Terraria? They've said you can find items in Terraria, but some of these items can only be earned by aligning with certain factions, while having access to certain technological advantages, and sometimes a combination of the two. These items may grant you abilities that you can mix and match, specialising in one area or having a hybrid. So the more you explore, craft and earn via factions, the more you gain access to different skills. Someone was asking about whether or not the map's going to be procedurally generated, and nope, that's never been the case. It's always going to be handmade. So that was a pretty decent Q&A this week. Okay, it's time now to go over the confirmed bugs and creatures in the game. So starting off with some of the newest ones we've come across, flies in the game. Now these aren't the cute and cuddly ones we've seen in Grounded, where they're like fluff balls. These are horrible sort of blue kind of bottle style ones, I guess. They're just really yucky. I've got to say they look pretty long. They're pretty, the shape of them is kind of big, much bigger than I expected to be. But obviously this is like close up just on them. So I'd like to see it in scale against maybe a bee or a wasp and stuff. But yeah, the flies are awful. Like they're the creepiest little bugs going when you look at them really close up, not the one. And in their latest clips on social media, we're showing off a little bit more close look at the butterfly or moth and this black beetle. Now, is it a stag beetle? I'm not too clued up on bugs names, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not an expert. Or is it just a regular black beetle? You guys let me know. But this is one of at least two beetles in the game, but there's not much information was given about either the butterfly or this beetle here. But yeah, it does look great, it looks big, definitely something you don't want to mess with. And by the looks of the butterfly, I don't know, it looks a bit too small or fragile to actually ride. It'd be cool if we'd use it as a paraglider, or maybe we need butterfly wings as a armor, because some of the armor sets, they do actually have special abilities based on what kind of insect they are. We've seen already that you can glide around with certain armor sets. And here's the other beetle, which is a rhino beetle. Thank God they put that in the Twitter post when they showed it off. And this looks cool. This is definitely one of the coolest creatures I've seen. Like, it's just like a mix of like a bumblebee, but a beetle. Like, I love it. And obviously the front looks pretty menacing. Imagine being able to ride that into battle. And then moving on to the spiders, which are pretty dark. And there may be even more than one type of spider, given the trailer showed off pretty something scary and horrific. The spiders do look like they're going to be some of the hardest creatures to fight. Speedy, obviously have venomous fangs, and obviously they'll be putting their webs all over the place. Spiders will also fight each other though. So if you can lure one against another, you might be able to maybe get the upper hand while they concentrate on each other. It does look like whatever they've got in their actual webs, there may be some sort of treasure or resource that we need to go and get. Situated in a dark forest doesn't say anything about having these as part of a faction. If you don't know, obviously that's a big part of SMALLAND is factions where you'll be able to side with one group of insects or another. Hence why that Q&A is mentioning it and stuff. But yeah, so far we're not sure if the spiders will be something that you can actually side with. They've also revealed the humble snail. Pretty much a food source for some of the large creatures. Does look like you can have these as a friendly pet, although I don't think you'll be able to necessarily ride them. So I'm guessing we might be able to get some resource from them if we kill them. Maybe snail slime to do stuff, construct armor possibly or items. Or maybe we'll be using their shell for stuff. Looks like they're going to be found all over the forest area in SMALLAND. So then we've got the Ladybug. The way they're grouping these creatures is whether or not their threat level is low, medium or high. And then they've got also primary or secondary consumers, and then immediate sort of predators. So the spider was an immediate predator, the snail was a low or first consumer, and then the ladybug is a secondary one. Effectively where they rank up in the food chain. Again, it looks like ladybugs won't necessarily be something that you're going to be riding around in, as they're pretty small in SMALLAND. And from this little blog post saying that it kind of followed you around a little bit as a companion, so nothing about being able to ride them. It does say that they've got some decent armour about them though, so they can maybe last a longer time against certain creatures, and you may just end up be using them as bait to stop other creatures from eating you. And again, it does also look like potentially you could use this creature to ward off others. Because of its colourings, it might actually scare other creatures off from attacking you. Then we've got bees, also confirmed are wasps. So these are secondary consumers, their threat level low, so we're pretty much going to be friendly with them. They can be allied with, but you've got to be careful still from their potent sting. They will kind of work together if they're attacked a bit much like ants. It does look like if you run into a whole bunch of these guys, then they're going to be friendly with you if you've got a faction with one of them. Whereas the ants, there are lots of them, and so you won't necessarily be safe just because you've been in faction with one of them. It does show as well, just like true life, that if the bees do attack, it could be the end of them. If they use their actual stings, it might actually kill them. And then we've got the 3 different types of ants in the game. We've got the ghost ant, almost like ninja ants. Apparently they're going to come out of the shadows, strike and then disappear once more. So a bit of a mysterious creature. Maybe not so mysterious is the red ants. These are pretty much the bad boys of the group. They're going to be aggressive from the start. They'll swarm around you and attack you. That said, maybe if you've got a bigger creature nearby, they won't necessarily be as strong, as they can be quite fearful of creatures bigger than them. These red ants will conquer and try and take stuff, so maybe we'll be fighting off against the red ants to help some of the brown ones. These are the more friendly type. Threat level still medium though. If you do anger them, it does look like they can swarm around and kill you. But yeah, it does look like we'll be able to form some sort of faction with them. Then we've got grasshoppers. We've seen this in action, jumping around, using it as a mount, absolutely going flying across the map. Then we've got creatures that are really big, like blue-tipped birds that you will be able to fly and use. You still have to kind of tame them or get on friendly terms with them. And it does look like the eggs that they protect are going to be some sort of valuable resource that we're going to need to get. And that might be the key also to using them or becoming friendly with them. So it's up to you whether or not we just go in there, take what we need, or possibly, yeah, become friendly and take to the skies. We know an owl's going to be in the game because it's all in the key art and stuff. Whether or not we'll be able to ride it is a different matter. I'm guessing it's going to be something pretty scary that we might have to fight against with other creatures. Or it might just be something like the crow in Grounded that just goes about its business. Maybe we can get feathers from it and stuff. And yet we are going to have wasps in the game as well. I'm guessing they're going to be some sort of medium threat. Or maybe even the worst kind of threat. I'm guessing they're pretty dangerous. So I'm pretty sure these are cockroaches. This was shown off as one of their dev blogs, and yeah, they look pretty ferocious, so you can imagine they're going to be like the top tier threat. Ugh, they make my skin crawl, I ain't gonna lie. And then we've got the lizard, which looks like it's changed slightly, or it's definitely had a bit of more of a glow up, I say, on the model, and the camera seems to be much closer to lizard. Maybe you can change it when you're riding it, but I actually prefer the more close-up viewpoint. Unless, of course, there are 2 different types of lizards in the game. Like, I'm looking at this one definitely looks a lot larger than the original, or definitely more chunkier. So maybe it is a glow up, maybe it is a bit of a change in the model, or maybe it is a different type. So obviously rideable for sure, and I guess maybe still a bit of a dangerous threat though. And then we've got toads. We're going to actually have toads running around, maybe to ride possibly in the future. This is probably the closest look we've seen of them though. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Obviously maybe in the more swampy parts of the forest. And we did see from the original trailer that they put up last year, I think it was, we're going to be riding dragonflies as well. And the wings look like they're made from them too. So maybe it'll be like upgrade levels to these wings, or maybe it's just the colour or the lighting on these ones that are on the back of the armour. Now this picture is really great. It does show off even more of the creatures as well. We noticed that there is a scorpion in the background. And then at first I thought this might be a field mouse or a rat, but it seems to have quite baggy arms. So maybe it's some sort of marsupial. There are 2 lizards, although one of them looks more like a, I guess a gecko one, like it's black and yellow. So maybe they have just done a remodel job on the other actual lizard. And is that an owl flying right in the middle of the screen, or is that an hawk or something along them lines too? And I couldn't find it. I had it somewhere, but I'm sure I've seen a picture or a little clip of a glow bug of some sort in the game as well. So when you add all them together, that is a lot of bugs and creatures, and especially lots that we can actually ride. You've got the dragonfly, you've got the grasshopper guaranteed. We know that you're going to be able to ride the lizards, that's free for sure. The marsupial we shown off in a trailer that they showed off ages ago as rideable, and I'm guessing the blue tit or the robin will be rideable as well. They've said and mentioned that too. So at least 5 creatures you can mount and ride. Now I might have mentioned this already in this video, but how do we actually tame them? Well, it looks like we're going to be crafting some sort of lures, items that we can use, and they're pretty clearly labelled at the moment. Grasshopper bait, ladybug bait, dragonfly bait, lizard bait, and we'll just simply use them to get whatever mounts we want. Or creatures, like I said, there's ladybug bait here, and I don't think you can ride them because they just simply look way too small. SMALLAND has hit 200k wishlist on Steam already, and don't forget it has got plans to come to console in the future as well. So very excited about this. If I get any new gossip, any new wind, any new dev looks, I will always keep you guys informed, and obviously any release date I'll be first to let you know. And if I somehow missed any of the creatures, do let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you rat bags for more soon. Bye bye.